Good afternoon, Speed Gaming fans, and welcome to the SGLIVE 2023 Super Metroid 100% tournament. My name is Eddie. Joining me on comms is Salty Pigeon, and we have a match between Behemoth87 and Zoast. How are you doing, Salty? And are you excited for this match?
Oh, dude, I'm super hyped. We got Agent Moth versus King Zoast. Will the King's defense hold, or will the secret agent get inside the castle and destroy it? Well, we're gonna find out right now.
Yep. This is like such a classic matchup. Behemoth, Zoast, tons of history between these two, trading records, notably in the any percent category, both cream of the crop runners essentially. So you're gonna see some really excellent gameplay here. This is one of those matches that like you just have. If you're a Super Metroid fan, how could you possibly miss? How could you miss?
Yes, and even better, this is best of 3. So don't go anywhere after this one's over, because the loser doesn't lose till they lose 2 of them.
Yep, we are in the winners finals for game 1. So this is the best of 3 territory. We're really making sure that the best 100% runner out of here comes out of here as the victor, and so you're going to get some great matches here.
Yeah, these are the last 2 players in the entire bracket that have yet to lose a race. So one of those O's have to go.
All right, so we have Behe and Zoast getting out of Sari Station right now. Gotta see if we can see any really nice times out of here. Definitely Sari's just with a bunch of the steam and whatnot, a lot of RNG. Zoast trying to go for a D boost there. Doesn't quite get it. I'm sure he's shouting my name in anger right now. But he's going for we're all getting out of series right here. No major mishaps. A 46. High 46 for Behe. That's a very good series time, and a mid 45 for Zoast. So both very acceptable times. Behemoth pulling about a second ahead.
Yeah, if you've watched these runners recently, just on their own streams, you know that Behemoth is really strong at the beginning of his stream. So I wouldn't be surprised if Behe takes game 1 and then Zoast comes back with game 2, and we do get all 3 games out of this. Obviously anything can happen, but Behemoth's first run of the day lately has been just fire. So let's see if he keeps that up.
This is one of those rare instances. I mean, for any of you who may not be as familiar with, the Super Metroid kind of history, but obviously these two are among the best Super Metroid players in the world, right? But this might be the first tournament like I've ever seen Zoast join that's not like maybe necessarily like a randomizer tournament or something, where Zoast might really not necessarily think of himself as the favorite. It's Behe de-rusted Hondo like extremely quickly. It looks like Zenny is maybe considered the tournament favorite by a lot of these top runners. So there's a strange feeling where we've talked about this before, but you know how you sort of have like this underdog. If you're like the underdog, there's a little bit less pressure in this sense. This might be like just one of the rare occasions where Zoast might feel like a little bit of an underdog, and it might put a little bit more pressure on Behemoth, who literally held the record like just a week or 2 ago, right? Shortly taken from Zenny, but it's just like it's crazy. It's crazy that like we're having such a high level race at this moment.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, Behemoth, I think it was just about a month ago now, where he had world record, and Zenny said, I'm going to take this back either in 48 hours or 6 months, but it ended up being 24 hours. Zenny got it back by a couple frames, then improved it by a second. And yeah, these 2 runners over the past 10 years held this record multiple times, and right now I'm just expecting a bunch of high level play coming through. This is what they do.
Now you're going to see some slight differences between these 2 players. One of the more interesting things is Behemoth actually sacrifices essentially an angle button. He does not have the ability to angle down because he uses the left trigger for, or one of the triggers for either item cancel or item select, I believe. So you might have seen in the construction zone down, Behemoth did a slightly different strategy. It doesn't do the angle down shot, but rather like kind of jump down the blocks. And one of the slight differences, nuanced strats you'll here see is Behemoth is doing the ledge grab climb along the middle side of the climb, and Zoast is just doing a regular climb up here. So yeah, it's just goes to show, like, you know, slightly different parlor strats here. You're going to see high level play, the highest level play between these two players. Yet you're going to see some different strats, and that's kind of the unique thing about Super Metroid. There's just like a lot of different ways you can do something, and a lot of them are in similar speeds, but you can kind of make it your own.
Yeah, once you watch these two runners enough, you can take the names off the top of the screen and then realize, oh, that's so and so, because I've seen that
Exactly
before from them. That's what they do. And well, yeah, once I found out about Behemoth's control scheme, that surprised me because of how well he does the ledge grab climb. Because he has to do angle down on the D-pad to hit every single one of those ledge grabs, and if he's just a little bit off, it could be disastrous. But he almost never is. So.
Excellent B2 fight from both. But yes, continue. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. I thought he was. After I saw his control scheme, I thought maybe the wall would be better for Behe, but no, he just makes it work.
Yeah, in the end, you gotta do what's comfortable with you, and that is the nice thing about Super Metroid. I feel like there's a lot of other games where maybe a lot of it comes down to like frame perfect jumps or tricks or something like that, but in this one, it's like the movement. It's like you just gotta do what's good for you. All right, so
definitely the best strat is the one that you're comfortable with, the one that you know you're gonna land, even if it's maybe a half a second slower, but you know you're gonna get it.
Yep,
that's what you want to go for, because there's so many different ways you can play this game, and right now, if you want to learn about it, these are probably two of the best ever to watch do that.
All right, so
taking the lead back just slightly there.
Just slightly. This is going to be a little. He's going to slightly lose it here, and the reason for that is because Zoast actually have to farm up the green pirates. You'll see Behe doesn't have to do that. He's just going to KO through that red ripper and angle shot, so it's going to even out just around the same right now. So you might see that Behe has 70 less HP. That's because the route that he's taking doesn't really. You don't need to conserve your health at all because he's going for those late power bombs. Zoast, on the other hand, is going to go and grab those power bombs early. And that means that because he's going to be deboosting through a bunch of spikes and whatnot, he needs to conserve that health right now. The one other thing that he's going to do is when he gets out of this reserve room and he goes down the green burn shaft, he's going to actually missile that door. That's because he needs to conserve one extra super that Behe won't to do a three super break to get to the crate entry. So we'll see that a little bit later, but yeah, it's just some very small resource management things that Zoast will have to do because he's going for those early power bombs.
Yeah, and both these runners, I believe, are late croc, correct, Eddie?
Yes, they are both late croc.
So we'll see convergence after these early power bombs a lot sooner than we would in a run where the runners swap croc for late and early.
Mm-hmm. So good reverse mock ball from both players. You're going to see Behe is just going to use a super right here. Zoast is actually going to 5 missile this. Needs to conserve that one extra super for later so that he can do a faster strat. But yeah, we will, unlike early croc versus late croc where you see convergence after croc basically, because this is just a matter of Zoast getting the early power bombs so that he can break. When he goes to Kraid's lair, he can grab that missile real quick. The convergence will happen basically after Meridia, where they both, where Behe will backtrack and grab that Kraid missile, and that's when we'll have like everything pretty much synced up.
Okay, so about maybe 10 minutes earlier than the late croc, early croc.
Yeah, something like that. Basically just before the lower Norfair segment. All right, not grabbing those missiles on the left side. We don't have to do that at Hundo, and because later when we come back, we're gonna lay a power bomb, and we're gonna basically have to wait for the power bomb to explode. So rather than like slightly press left and grab it and waste like a second, we should just grab it later when we have to wait around for a power bomb explosion anyway. Small little optimizations in Hundo. This category is had a lot of thought put into it between a lot of runners. So here we go. We have Behe bombing going straight down to Kraid, and we have Zoast heading up to the alpha power bombs to get his first pack of power bombs. Now the route difference between these two, the time differential really is just not, it's not that big of a deal. You could basically world record going early power bombs or not, and Zoast in fact had the world record. I think also the first 112 going for that. So it can be a little bit more finicky if you're not used to going for the early power bombs. because you have to do some tricky Hellway deboosts. You have to be a little bit more conservative with your health. But the big advantage is if you are a very strong any percent runner, like Zoast is, you shouldn't have too much issue with these strats. They're very similar to the Fantoon first route.
Yeah, I think Zoast is, halfway decent at any percent.
Yeah, that guy's all right. Bihi too. Both of those players, they're decent at any percent, I would say.
Yeah, back when New Route came out, which is not really new anymore, but back when that came out, these two were trading records. It was like a heavyweight boxing match.
Yeah, obviously
Giants
these two players
from Behemoth coming out of nowhere and be like, "Oh, check this out!" And then Zoast learned it like insanely fast, and they just went back and forth for months. It was a really, really cool time to be a Metroid fan, and so it is right now too, with Behemoth and Zenny trading the record, and Oats getting any percent, and yeah, these four are just ridiculous. So fun to watch.
All right, let's see if Behemoth does some lag reduction here. Yeah, fall into those spikes, has plenty of health. Basically, you take some damage, your sprite is flashing, and lag is reduced because Samus is not being drawn every frame, it's every other frame. So far, very good for Behemoth. We're seeing Zoast kind of catch up. So Zoast has 3 supers exactly to do this trick, where you create a runway by breaking these 3 blocks. Behemoth got it earlier, and Zoast gets it now. So that's why you conserve that super missile earlier. And you will get a super missile refill for the Kraid fight through the mini Kraid boss. And here we go. We see Zoast picking up these missiles that Behemoth could not because he has the power bomb. This is why going out of your way for those early power bombs is valid. It lets you collect this right now, so Behemoth will have to backtrack for it later. But in the end, Zoast obviously have to go out of his way for the power bomb. So basically, the time comes out to very similar.
Yeah, I think the last time I talked to Zoast or Zenny about it, if you're as optimal of a player as Zoast is, I think early power bombs may be a couple seconds faster if you're perfect. So it's really a wash when you get down to it.
Yeah, I think in the end, like there's RNG involved. In the end, it's just going to be a few seconds apart at most either way. So kind of just runner's preference at that point.
And Zoast finally learning the Kraid quick kill after all these years. Beautiful job, Zoasty. Didn't have to see the legs this time.
All right. One little nuance: Zoast has 4 power bombs. One nice thing is if he were to have collected 5 power bombs. Now in this route, basically the last time you have to kind of worry about your health is when you get to wreck ship. But unfortunately, because Zoast has 4 power bombs, he's not going to get the 20 extra health from these B-Toms rooms before he grabs his energy tank. They have an extremely high chance of dropping power bombs. So if you don't have full power bombs, they're basically going to drop power bombs. So he's not going to get that extra health in his reserve. You really want to just one of the safeties that you'd want is to make sure your reserve is kind of fully capped out, because if things kind of go wrong on the wreck ship, you may not be able to spark through Gauntlet, and that's a pretty hefty time loss. So far, didn't get to see if Behemoth went for some solo killing strats at the business center to fill up his reserve. So it's a little hard to keep track of all that, but Zoast is going to have to maybe look for some additional health to top up his reserve. All right. So we have Behemoth running through Cathedral, series of deboosts to get through. When you see Zoast get through here, he's going to use his additional power bomb to do some lag reduction to I guess lag reduction may not be the technical term for it, but you'll see Zoast use his power bombs to basically kind of overwrite the audio of the rising acid and make the door transition go a little bit faster. It's kind of a weird, subtle, nuanced thing, but all you have to know is that there's basically the door goes through quicker into the next room. Meanwhile, we have Behe running through the speed boost room. As you can see, only angle pumping, arm pumping upwards because he does not have that. He doesn't have that angle down button. So it's one of those telltale signs that you're watching Behemoth play, because you're only really going to see him arm pump upwards.
Yeah, exactly. Most I don't know, the craziest controller input I've seen for this game. I don't know how he does it like that, but hey, once you get comfortable with something, whatever works, man.
Mm-hmm. All right. Ooh, that. Now, I'm not as familiar with Hundo resources, but I do know that having 2 supers after getting that farm, leaving Speed Booster, is not good at all. So you're going to have to see Behemoth kill some monsters in there, reduce lag, and then break these doors with missiles, because he's probably going to have to conserve some missiles. I don't know if he has to missile this next one. There's ways to get supers in the upcoming rooms, but yeah. So we see Behemoth going ahead and missiling that door right there. So yeah, 2 supers leaving Speed Boosters, not really what you want. We'll see how Zoast farm comes out and treats them on the way back. So a little bit of RNG in this run, not as much. Fantoon is probably the biggest point of RNG, but yeah, some of the resources will make you have to change strats, maybe slow you down a second or 2 here and there.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, leaving Upper Norfair here, you'd really like to have 4 supers. So we'll see if maybe Behemoth gets lucky on a Sova or something in Main Street. Or Business Center, I'm sorry.
So we see Behemoth, you saw him take that little bomb maze right there. Now, that bomb maze, obviously, you have to do that because there is a shortcut in Bubble Mountain, but that requires power bomb. So that's another little benefit that you'll get to see Zoast do.
Ooh, very nice pickup.
Oh, yeah, Zoast could have gone on that one, but grabbing that extra farm, that was filling up the supers right away. So that's definitely good for Behemoth. Zoast is definitely going to just start supering all these doors, not wasting any time. But yeah, on the way back down Bubble Mountain, you're going to see Zoast drop a power bomb and just take that left shortcut. So another little benefit of that route in particular.
So unfortunately, no reason to spread Joe cheeks from either of these runners in this one.
Nope. So there is a bomb spread technique going out of Bubble Mountain that you could do. I think it's I don't know the technical term exactly, but I believe it is a frame perfect. There's a frame where while you're doing a turnaround, you can hold charge, and there is a technique in the game where if you have charge and morph, you just lay 5 bombs, then they just kind of like fly around all over the place. That is a quick way to actually bust the blocks at the bottom, but Behemoth just doing kind of just normal going down there and laying the power bomb or laying the bombs to break the stuff. But here we go. We have Zoast laying the power bomb, taking that little shortcut right there, and he is hot on Behemoth's tail right now.
And yeah, I have to give all credit to the Cheeks reference to Dark Zoa, because he was the one that cracked me up really good early in the season, or early in the tournament when he was talking about that. So that's all Zoa. Good fun.
All right, so we have Behemoth, Alpha Spark getting over there, making his way up the red tower, and he is going to go. We're going to see a little bit more of a convergence between Behemoth and Zoast. Keep in mind, Behemoth is always, unless Zoast really pulls ahead, Behemoth is going to be consistently ahead of Zoast here, just because Behemoth will have to backtrack later. But there's one little convergence that's going to happen here, and that's because Behemoth now has to go down to grab these power bombs that Zoast grabbed at the start of the game. So you'll see Zoast is making his way up Upper Norfair and also heading to the wreck ship. But Behemoth has to stop by and pick these up. So far, no major mistakes between these 2 players. Every once in a while, we're going to see, like Zoast kind of jumped a little bit too early for that door right there. I think Behemoth did a few things like that. Just some really minor, very small hiccups, no more than a few seconds at most here and there. So basically, both of these players playing very well. So let's see how Behemoth approaches this beta power bomb room. There's a lot of dangerous, nice big hoppers right there. Excellent. So getting in with the blue. I don't know the technical terms for it, all of these things, but basically you morph and then you hold angle or up or something like that. You kind of keep that blue jump. And when you're in that state of blue, you're pretty much just destroying anything that touches you will pretty much get destroyed. So that's one of the easiest ways to kind of approach that room, is to just go in with the spark and then spark kill everything. But that is a little bit more efficient and a little bit less laggy, I believe. So well played by Behemoth. You're going to see Zoast do something, a variation of that, where he jumps into the spikes at the top. So that's something to look out for. We're going to see Zoast do that right now, and we're going to see an ocean fly attempt from Behemoth.
And if you're wondering, all these strats were made by the Hockey Towner. Hockey told us that in Discord yesterday, so we don't have to search for any true answers.
Okay, so extremely well executed from both players. Zoast getting that really, really awesome blue strat where he jumps into the ceiling. I assume that saves some lag frames because the once again you're getting hit by the spikes. So I assume the power bomb is a little bit less laggy. And Behemoth gets that ocean fly, so that's a nice thing. Otherwise, the alternative is you bonk and then you have to spark again. So very well played by both so far.
And still pretty good health for Behemoth, having over a tank after the ocean fly. That's always nice.
Yep.
Giving you just a little extra cushion for Fantoon.
Exactly, yeah. Both of these players obviously being such strong any percent runners. Fantoon is something they're so experienced with, so even if Behemoth had like 30
Nothing,
HP,
pretty much,
yeah, I pretty much, Zo's not getting that ocean fly. But yeah, if Behemoth had like 30 HP, I have full confidence that he'd do just fine if I really had to. Now, it's not a situation you'd like to be in, but they're such veterans at this fight, so yeah. Here we go. So far, I would say with that missed ocean fly, Behemoth's execution maybe have been just very slightly better. That's a fast.
Nice start.
All right, 6 missile
Decent
Doppler.
there.
Yeah, he's gonna have to finish this off with a 5 missile Doppler. That's not as fast. So this mid is extremely rare. So he's almost certainly getting a fast slow here. Needs to do a 2-2 and then a 5 missile Doppler to finish off Fantoon here. 1-2, 1-2. We're gonna let Fantoon go off screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Super, and that is a fast, slow 2-round for Behemoth. Very solid fight, Fantoon fight. Can Zoast match that?
Yeah, for that RNG, pretty much perfect Fantoon right there. You love to see it in the race. Hopefully Zoast can have a great fight here as well. Keep everything nice and close and hype as far as we can keep it.
Wreck Shift, definitely one of the more tougher segments in this, so no fast start for Zoast. Let's see if he can get this mid. All right, that's a mid.
Mid, pretty good Doppler there.
I think that was a 5 missile Doppler. This 2-round is going to be a little bit harder. Basically the first Doppler was one worse than Behemoth, so this needs to be a 6 missile Doppler. This might be a mid.
Nice.
Oh, well played by Zoast. Double on-screen mid. So I would say that's very slightly better than Behemoth's Fantoon, actually, because Behemoth had that fast slow, and the slow, he had to let Fantoon go off screen because it's a tricky pattern. So, but, all that being said, both of these players playing extremely well, really good Fantoon for both players. So, Zoast coming out of this Fantoon fight with a lot of health, that might make him want to consider going for the extremely fast strat through the spiky room of death. Behemoth, has just like a normal amount of health, so we're probably gonna see him not do a little bounce ball through this room right here.
Oh, he is though.
Or is he doing it? Nice. Okay. So
I've seen him do that with less health too, and it scared the crap out of me.
Yeah,
but
yeah. The thing is, when you
no fear though,
the spikes don't hurt that much, but those Kazans, the platforms, when they hit you, they nuke you, and
it's like
that's always
or something.
Yeah, it's bad. All right, Behemoth. 2 bomb jumps to get across. That's a sensible approach. I know Zoast, I think, just kind of does 1 bomb jump to get across. It always spooks me out a little bit, but I rarely see these players, have problems with that bomb jump anyway. So here we go. Both players playing phenomenally so far.
Yeah, they almost never go into the drink.
Yep. All right, Zoast, with the full health, is going to just land on the platform and jump through. This is a very kind of free, fast version to do it and no risk at all. So that's a very, very good way to approach it in general. So here we go. We have Zoast heading up to the bomb jump, and we have Behemoth heading up to the attic, where you're going to see some crazy strats where you're unloading a ton of missiles. Excellent bomb jump for Zoast.
Very nice attic. Oh, just barely missed that last one.
Just barely missed that last one. Now the thing is, attic can go really bad if you mess it up. So if all that happens is you miss that last key hunter, then that's kind of fine. If you kind of jumble the jump a little bit and you mess that up, then things can get like out of whack. Now see this robot room for Behemoth. Sensible approach to just morph under.
Very nice.
I think the kind of the optimal quote unquote approach is to just try to like spin jump through both of them. But if you mess that up, it can be a little bad. Ooh, Zoast falling in that water a little bit, so losing a second or two right there. But so far, looking really good for Behemoth.
Very nice robot room. It was
Yes.
very clean.
Now we have Zoast entering the attic, so it's Zoast's turn.
And beautiful.
Looking flawless so far. Will he get the speed keep here? No. Okay. Grab that extra health right there. So that's a neat little strategy. Normally, when you're trying to see, that Zoast's not quite getting the unmorph. This might mess up his robot room. Let's see if he can get it. Okay, nice little backup. It's not quite how he wants to do it. Oh, this.
Ooh.
Oh no. That's okay.
Not
so
what you want to see.
yeah, now what you want to see. So the robot kind of needs to be like stepping forward as you jump through. Otherwise, and then if you accidentally shoot him and he starts going backwards, then that really sucks because you have to get him all the way. So it's having some trouble in that robot room. Let's see if Behemoth can get this robot flush. All right, we heard two little shot hits right there. So that sounds like Behemoth has gotten that with no issue. So yeah, so far, Wreck Ship, other than the little robot room from Zoast, it's been very strong so far. Behemoth pretty much kind of approaching it entirely flawlessly, but Zoast having just a little hiccup in the robot room. So that's about it so far. We're going to have to see. We don't quite know, obviously, until Behemoth goes and backtracks for those missiles. But Behemoth's execution looking just ever so slightly a little bit better here.
And as Behemoth's coach, I'm going to thank you for that. All I can do is give him tips because I don't know a whole lot and I'm not that good. But he's been playing extremely good this tournament.
Yeah, Behemoth definitely one of the scariest people. I think historically, I believe in races, like I forget what the statistics were, but in previous tournaments, I think Behemoth basically just like never ever like dropped games ever. and when you're talking about people that are consistent, I mean, given how fast Behemoth de-rusted this and just like snagged the world record for a day, basically, like this is the kind of person you do not want to play in a tournament. I mean, you want to play him in a tournament if you're Zoast because it's going to be a fun match. But if you're trying to like, fight for your life and you're in a Super Metroid tournament, Behemoth is like the last guy you ever want to play because this guy is like made for tournaments.
Yeah, so this is real big, and it's good for both of them that they're still in winners. So even whoever falls down here, you get to go to the redemption bracket or the elimination bracket, and you still get another life.
Yep.
So no matter what happens, they're going to be fighting back, coming back for the grand finals. One of them, I'm sure. Zenny's down there right now at the moment, and obviously Zenny's incredible. So we got a lot of nice matches coming up here to finish off our tournament.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice strat from Behemoth, jumping through with that morph. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to take that random hit so that you get flung into the power bombs. So yeah, I mean, so far Behemoth just like playing like insane right now. So nice little wraparound shot where he just kind of used the wall to line himself up. It is a very precise shot. You have to be standing on kind of the right set of pixels, but here we go. Cool. We have Behemoth going for the spark.
Yeah, he realized he had extra health and he stepped back. Just those decisions in a fraction of a second. Step back to eat up more health in the shine spark to put him right exactly where he needed to be.
Yep.
That's what both these guys can do. It's so cool. Are we gonna get the backside? We are.
Oh my gosh.
Teletubby huggy. Shout outs to Seffi and Hockey. Very
nice.
Nice.
Gosh, okay, all right. You know
scary.
What? If there's anyone that you should believe that is gonna nail that strat where you jump into the middle and literally sacrifice your race chance of, like, Behemoth misses that jump by 2 pixels to the right, the race is effectively over, right?
Yeah.
You could literally so you could sit there, shoot, and then line yourself up by keeping that bottom row of blocks on, and waste about like a second to ensure that you don't have that issue. But this guy is making no mistakes. He's playing so well right now. This is actually so crazy. Cool. Yeah. All right, we have Zoast attempting the spark as well. You need a very specific amount. Okay, so Zoast has to go for a backup here. He didn't get the blue in time to break those blocks. So if he does a quick fall morph, he can still make it. It's just really tight.
Oh, he did it! Oh, just off.
I think the
I've
morph
seen him
was
do
just-
it. It's that backup is so sick.
The
and
backup
so
is
hard.
even harder than the actual trick because the frame window is so tiny. But this backup right here with when you don't get the spark, looking really, really fast for Zoast right now. So as you see, Zoast lining himself up, making sure that he doesn't have that issue where he's just like falling through the blocks, one side of the blocks. Yeah,
he saved like a
absolutely
second
safe.
and a half.
But
if you mess it up, you lose like a minute and a half.
Exactly.
So it's so crazy.
Yeah, at this level of play, it's game over essentially, right? So like, but what can you do, Salty? Like, what can you do when Behemoth is going for like all the world record level strats, right? And he's just nailing all of them. Like, what can you do? We're gonna have to see Behemoth make some mistakes if you know, maybe I'm missing some stuff, but like so far I'm seeing Behemoth play like flawlessly, basically.
I've seen one mistake, and it was a bubble mountain, and it costed like a second. But otherwise, you're 100% correct. Yeah, he's playing out of his mind right now. Obviously, very cool to see. And the good news for this late stages in the tournament, it's not a one and done. It's best of 3. So, you know, it's not over. We got a lot of Metroid left. Yep. Still a lot of Metroid left in this very run. And
absolutely.
You never ever want to count out Zoast because he does some incredible stuff.
Oh, you never count out Zoast. That'd be the craziest thing to ever do. But yeah, here we go. We have Zoast getting a nice little wiggle to grab those super missiles. Behemoth is going to smack that hopper coming in with a few missiles so that he'll be able to finish them off on the way out. You do have to kill both these hoppers to exit this room. And nice mission impossible from Behemoth.
Agent Moth, 0087. Expected nothing less than Mission Impossible right there.
So you're gonna see Behemoth get that blue, so you can instantly kill the hoppers coming in, and you're gonna see Zoast probably lay a powerbomb exiting this room with the Eticoons. The Eticoons singing the fanfares does actually cause the door transit. Okay, doesn't have to do that, but that is another situation where you could lay a powerbomb to kind of drown out the singing Eticoons who make the door lag here. All right,
I love that E-room, or that E-tank room D-boost to get out of the door on the big hopper.
Oh yeah, it's really smooth, and then kind of sets you up nicely because as you're flying out, which Behemoth did, you lay that power bomb to break the blocks, and then Behemoth did a nice little setup where he actually kind of took damage from the little hopper, which probably reduced lag, and then he got perfectly set up to go ahead and break the block. That super that you have to shoot in to break the exit of the spore spawn, it's actually extremely finicky. There's only a very small amount of pixels work, so you'll often see the players kind of like line up or figure out a lineup to make sure that you get that block broken, because otherwise you're gonna have to redo it and you're wasting supers and time.
Yeah, there's a couple different pixels, a few feet apart, as far as Samus goes, that will work. So for these guys to go down, lay that power bomb, and then get that super in there just in the right pixel is crazy to me, and they do it with such consistency.
Yes.
So here's Zoast's turn at it, and he was practicing this last night because I asked him to, because I wanted to see it done and beautiful.
Yep. And that's the beauty of it as well. Zoast and Behemoth, I believe, actually use different pixels. There's slightly different. The one that Zoast used right there, I think the leniency on where you have to stand is a lot more. It's a lot like tougher, whereas the one that Behemoth did is a little bit further back. But yeah, so it's just like slightly different setups for both. But what I can definitely say is you can't be like between where they both did it. Those are very specific spots that you can do to actually make it through.
Yeah, one of the most finicky blocks in the game. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 spots you can shoot it from, but they're all so just weird and random, and you cannot be off at all.
Okay, so some small mistakes here. So Behemoth wasn't able to get that blockbuster, so had to lay that bomb to break that, and Zoast laid a power bomb a little bit too high, heading down to these this waterway E-tank. So very small mistakes from both players, so it's a little bit of a wash in the end between these two. And we have Behemoth heading up to Meridia. Meridia, section full, chock full of difficult tricks. Lots of things that can make you lose a little bit of time. That's kind of what I associate Meridia with often. A room, a section full of like tough tricks essentially. So Behemoth, getting a nice Main Street short charge right there.
And yeah, Meridia wastes no time with tough tricks. That short charge, almost the smallest amount of space you can do it in.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Zoast is still maybe the best ever with short charges.
Nice. So yeah, that room was interesting because Behemoth didn't jump on that last frame, so had to do a little wiggle to kind of wiggle past the ceiling, and then did some nice new tech that Zenny kind of I think figured out recently. But essentially, once you get to the top of that fish tank, previously done is, people are doing tiny spin jumps to jump off, and optimal play, try to do as low of a spin jump as possible. You start falling faster. Well, it turns out if you just run off, it's just faster than anything else. So yeah, Behemoth showing extreme tech where he just ran off the ledge and went really fast. Checkmate passers. Let's see if Zoast.
Main Street, yep, no problem. He even got it a little bit sooner than Behemoth got it.
Mm-hmm.
His short charge timing is just too legit to quit.
Yep. Has to dump a bunch of missiles to get that fish out of the way. And Zoast didn't get that jump right there, so he's going to have to land and run up as well. So, yep. Zoast, as you can see, doing that little spin jump down there. And Behemoth is going to take care of this room right here. Gonna get a nice little D-boost. And I think with that pattern, there's a little ouch on the ground. You have to keep your eye on that. And because it's sunk in the ground a little bit later, I think he could just run through full speed without worrying. Okay, but he goes for the blue anyway, so. Oh, nice. That morph into that tunnel is so hard, and Behemoth lands it. So, these are a lot of subtle tricks. Like, oh yeah, why not just, morph into that little hole, right? Well, I mean,
yeah.
If you have high jump boots, you got speed, and you're morphing into a hole that's like 3 tiles above you. Oh, like that is really, really, really not easy.
They make it look so easy, but go ahead and turn on the game yourself and give that a try.
Oh god, it's so hard to do something like that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
The effort and the time that these guys put into being so consistent is mind-boggling in and of itself. Yeah. But you see the product here, and that's why they've both had world records over and over again.
So far, Behemoth, that whole section right there was very, very clean. We have Zoast trailing right behind. Remember, Zoast is not actually this far behind because Behemoth does have to backtrack for those Kraid missiles. So much closer match than it actually looks like. Now here we go. Behemoth is going to be entering the Batoon hallway fight. Let's see if we can get that one round. Batoon can always be a little bit tricky here. And let's see if Zoast can get this morph as well. Zoast gets that morph. That's a tricky morph.
A little bit different setup on the X Factor from Behemoth, but worked beautifully, and that was a super fast bot wound. That was ridiculous.
That top pattern is a little tricky because, as you can see, Behemoth got Batoon before the head hooked around. When that head is hooking around, you can't actually hit Batoon during that, so you'd have to wait just a little bit longer. But Behemoth nails Batoon before he can even get the full 180, so that was a really, really fast fight. I know the top pattern is something he's practiced a lot. So yeah, fruits of the labor really showing right there. So it's missing that mock fall real quick. So yeah, that's a tough one, but just basically the backing up is so quick that it's just a second at most that he's losing.
Let's see how this Dragon goes.
Yup. Dragon is one of those things. These bosses, never count out the bosses. It's always like, it's always a sigh of relief when you can get through them, but Dragon is definitely one where it's very much, it feels like a trick. Basically, if you can get Dragon done in 2 sparks, the fight is effectively scripted. Like you can have full control over it. If you miss that, Zoast missing that short charge right there. If you miss that, then it can go really off the rails. So let's see if Behemoth can get a good opening here.
Oh no, Zoast doesn't miss short charges. The short charge missed him. It was that block that wasn't shot. And yep, there's the script that he was talking about. Yep. Perfect Dragon fight. for that pattern. That's how it's done right there.
Nails the spike suit, effectively a double frame perfect trick, so is going to be able to spark back over the Coliseum. Meanwhile, we have Zoast attempting the full halfie himself.
Zoast had a really sick bot wound too that went down quick. And here we go, full halfie.
Good full halfie, so we're going to see these players high five just about in a second now. Oh, never mind. Zoast,
Zoast is dodging the high five.
Yeah, Zoast dodged the high five. Actually, kind of rude, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Behemoth will continue onward.
We wanted to do a little.
Zoast is having none of that. It's a competition. We're out here. We're out here trying to win, not make friends. So here we go.
Winners finals. Shake your hand
It's
later.
the winners finals. Yep. All right. So we have Zoast entering the fight. Behemoth is able to spark across the Coliseum. Now Behemoth is going to go down and do the sand pits. Gonna grab the E-Tank first. And Zoast is dumping a few missiles. That's for a GT, the gold Torizo boss manipulation. So this is a good time to just kind of dump a few right now.
For sure. And
here's a little bit of
doesn't care about that manip.
Yep. So here's a little bit of a different setup right here. That spark looked high.
It did. I hope he still got it.
Maybe it's okay. No. As you can see, he can finish this off. Okay,
there we go.
So in the fight, as long as he can get the spike suit, really, it's not all that bad. One more attempt, one more quick attempt, and then that's about it, I think. Okay, yeah. So no spike suit for Zoast. That's just a few second time loss. It's not as bad as it is in, let's say, any percent.
Or 8%,
yeah, because you do have the space jump, so it's really not fine. As long as you get the womple jump, like, you're really only losing like a few seconds as opposed to losing a lot more effectively. So, but yeah, that's just like that's one of those things. Like, Zoast is playing pretty good, right? But pretty good is maybe not enough to beat someone of Behemoth's caliber, right?
Right.
So
this run from Zoast here might be several people's best run ever. And, but he has to play like Zoast if you want to beat Behemoth. And he definitely can. We got 3 runs. This is what I predicted at the very beginning. I was thinking Behemoth would take game 1, and then Zoast would probably take game 2, and then we'd get an all 3 out of this. So I'm gonna hold tight to that prediction I said at the beginning.
Yep. So excellent Puyo ice clip. That's kind of the trademark thing of Late Croc. You don't have grapple, so you got to ice clip through the Puyo to get to Shack Tool. And Behemoth has a very interesting setup where he actually kind of like doesn't I think I think there's like a PLM block or something like that, but basically the screen doesn't scroll, and you see some wacky things going on with the camera, but it's all intentional and it's all a setup so that for him it's a very free quote unquote Puyo ice clip. Basically, yeah, he just has a very interesting setup where the Puyo just ends up kind of like on the right frame, being in the perfect spot. You're going to see Zoast do something a little bit different. You're going to see Zoast just run in. I guess you can say it's the quote-unquote optimal strat. But he's just going to run in with the charge shot, and he's going to try to jump up there. If he misses the jump, that's fine. He'll just kind of like go against the wall or something like that. But here we go. Let's see if he can get it. Starting with the charge shot.
And also, we got a couple people in chat wondering what happened to Zoast, and nothing happened. He runs a slightly different early game route for power bombs, and he's just not playing as perfect as he normally plays.
Yep.
And that's all it is. But we got best of 3 here, so it's not a huge deal.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot more Super Metroid to be played, but yeah, excellent first try, Puyo ice clip for Zoast. But yeah, the distance is not as dramatic as you might think, because Behemoth does have to backtrack for the Kraid missiles. So you're actually going to see after Behemoth is done with this Meridia section, which he almost is, he's going to go into Kraid's lair real quick.
And we're going to get 4 extra door transitions right there. So that's going to give Zoast a lot of time to catch up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, get out of the way, Snail. Get out of the way. Okay.
No one likes snails. Unless you're doing the X-ray clip or the clip to get up there in like a randomizer.
Yep. Oh, look at Behemoth just